I died choking on my own vomit in a dingy motel room off I-95. The bottle of cheap whiskey my father had shoved into my hand still clutched like a lifeline, his mocking laughter echoing in my skull as the pills dissolved into oblivion. But death wasn't the end. It was a goddamn reset button, slamming me back into my body 3 months earlier, heart pounding in the suffocating heat of that Virginia backyard barbecue. The exact moment my family decided I was the punchline to their perfect little American dream. Sweat trickled down my spine as Dad's voice boomed. Audrey. Honey. Maybe if you stopped chasing pipe dreams and got a real job, you'd have a ring on that finger too, his eyes gleaming with the cruelty only a father can wield like a weapon. The air smelled of grilled burgers and betrayal. My brother's fiancée giggling like it was all in good fun, while the rest of the extended clan nodded along, their champagne flutes raised in a toast to mediocrity. I was 28, fresh out of community college, with a half-baked graphic design gig that barely covered my rent in a roach-infested Alexandria walk-up. And here I was, the black sheep in a flock of golden geese. My brother, Ethan, the golden boy, Harvard MBA, corner office at some DC think tank, now popping the question to his sorority sweetheart Emily like it was scripted by Hallmark. And me, the afterthought. The kid Dad had with his secretary during one of Mom's extended vacations to the Hamptons, only acknowledged when it suited his narrative of redemption. But this time, I knew what was coming. The spiral that followed that night, Dad's joke, morphing into a family intervention where they shipped me off to a cut-rate therapist who prescribed antidepressants like candy. The mounting debts from Ethan's wedding that I'd somehow been guilted into co-signing for. The affair with my boss that blew up in a harassment lawsuit I lost because no one believed the troubled girl. And the final straw, Dad's anonymous tip to the cops about my erratic behavior, leading to that motel raid where they found the stash I'd never touched, pinning it on me as some desperate cry for help. Overdose framed as suicide. Case closed before the ink dried. Buried in a pauper's plot with a headstone that read, "Beloved daughter," like that erased the fact they'd all turned their backs. No more. This rebirth wasn't mercy. It was ammunition. I blinked against the July sun, forcing a laugh that sounded brittle even to my own ears.
Yeah, Dad.
Because nothing says success like marrying into debt and pretending life's a country club. The table went quiet, forks hovering midair. Ethan's jaw tightened, Emily's perfectly manicured hand squeezing his like she was anchoring him to sanity. Mom, my stepmom. Really? The ice queen who'd birthed the heir and tolerated me as an accessory shot me a look that could curdle milk. Audrey, don't start. This is a happy day. Happy for who? I scanned the crowd, aunts in pastel sundresses whispering behind their hands, uncles nursing beers and avoiding my gaze, cousins snapping selfies with the fairy lights strung like nooses overhead. And Dad, portly and red-faced in his polo shirt stretched taut over a beer gut earned from too many networking lunches, leaning back with that smug grin. He was the architect of this farce, the man who'd clawed his way from a steel mill in Pittsburgh to a mid-level exec at a defense contractor, only to build his empire on secrets that could topple governments. Secrets I'd uncovered in my first life. Too late to matter. I excused myself before the rage boiled over, slipping into the house through the French doors, the cool blast of AC hitting me like a slap. The kitchen was a shrine to suburban excess, marble counters cluttered with charcuterie boards, a sub-zero fridge humming softly. I gripped the edge of the sink, staring at my reflection in the window, wild auburn hair I'd chopped short in defiance last time, green eyes hollowed by ghosts only I could see. 25 pounds lighter now, thanks to the starvation diet of ramen and resentment. But knowledge was my new weapon. I knew Dad's dirty deals, the kickbacks from that Black Hawk procurement scandal, the offshore accounts funneled through shell companies in the Caymans. I knew about the affair that produced me, the one he'd buried deeper than my eventual grave. And I knew about Colonel Marcus Hale, the four-star general who'd crossed my path at a VA fundraiser 6 months back, our one-night stand that blossomed into stolen emails and whispered promises, cut short by my death before it could ignite. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a text from an unknown number. Missed you at the range today. Dinner? Marcus. In my first life, I'd ghosted him after Dad's barbs made me feel unworthy. This time, I'd fan those flames until they consumed the whole rotten nest. I typed back, family drama. Rain check. His reply was instant. Heard about the engagement. Need backup? Wheels up in 48. Wheels up. Military lingo for chopper exfil. A reckless idea sparked. Why not? Let them see what they dismissed. The party dragged on into dusk. Fireflies winking like conspirators as the string quartet struck up some sanitized version of At Last. Ethan and Emily swayed on the makeshift dance floor, her gown a cascade of tulle that cost more than my yearly salary. I nursed a seltzer, plodding in the shadows. Dad cornered me by the dessert table, his breath sour with scotch. You gotta lighten up,
Kiddo.
life's too short for grudges. Irony. Thy name is paternal hypocrisy. Too short? Tell that to the whistleblower who got shipped to Gitmo for less, I murmured, low enough that only he heard. His face paled, eyes darting like a cornered rat. What the hell are you? Relax. Dad. Just a joke. I clinked my glass against his tumbler, watching the cracked spiderweb across the ice. The seed was planted. By midnight, as guests trickled out with air kisses and Uber summons, I slipped away to my beat-up Civic, the engine coughing to life like it sensed the storm brewing. The next morning, I woke in my apartment to the sound of rain lashing the windows, the kind of DC downpour that turns streets into rivers. Coffee in hand, I fired up my laptop, the same one I'd pawned in desperation last time. Time to dig. Dad's emails, accessed via a forgotten shared family cloud account he'd never bothered to secure. There was correspondence with a lobbyist named Victor Kane, coded references to Project Raven, the overpriced Black Hawk upgrade that'd lined pockets from Arlington to Langley. Attachments, wire transfers, falsified specs. Enough to bury him if leaked to the right journalist. But revenge wasn't a sprint, it was a siege. First, fortify the walls. I called in sick to my dead-end job at the print shop, then drove to the nearest army surplus store, blowing half my paycheck on a burner phone and a nondescript duffel. By noon, I was at a coffee shop in Georgetown, meeting a contact from my first life's ghosts, Lena, the investigative reporter who tried to run my story posthumously but got stonewalled. Audrey, holy shit. You look
Alive.
Her eyes widened over her latte foam. Second chance at the truth, I said, sliding a USB drive across the table. Start with this. But hold off publishing until I say. She pocketed it, skepticism etching her brow. What's the angle? This could torch careers. Mine included. But some fires need starting. We parted with a nod, the rain easing into mist as I headed to Joint Base Andrews. Security was a joke for civilians with the right story. I spun mine as a veterans advocate following up on a donation. Marcus was in a briefing, but his aide waved me through to a side office stacked with maps and MREs. He found me there an hour later, all 6'4" of him in flight suit, Salt and pepper hair cropped military tight, blue eyes crinkling with that disarming grin. Intruder alert. He locked the door, pulling me into a kiss that tasted of jet fuel and juniper. Heard about the family circus. You okay? Better now. I traced the stars on his collar, 4 of them, earned in deserts I'd only read about. Ever extract someone via Black Hawk? His laugh rumbled low. Black Ops wet dream. Why? Think bigger. Wedding crash of the century. I laid it out. The engagement party redux in 2 weeks. Dad's empire on the brink. My need for a spectacle that'd shatter their facade. He listened, jaw set, then cupped my face. Dangerous game. AUD. But if it's war you want, I've got your 6. We spent the afternoon in a tangle of plans and limbs on the office couch, his hands mapping my scars like battlefields. Marcus wasn't just brass, he was the whistleblower who'd been silenced years ago. His career derailed by the same procurement racket Dad profited from. Our connection? Fate's cruel joke. Or rebirth's gift. By dusk, he was on the horn to his crew. Prep Bird 2 for civilian insert. Non-standard op. The days blurred into a frenzy. I ghosted my family, dodging calls with excuses about freelance deadlines. Behind the scenes, I fed Lena breadcrumbs, a Cayman routing number here, a redacted memo there. She texted updates, DOJ sniffing.
Keep low.
Meanwhile, Ethan bombarded me with voicemails, sis. What's with the radio silence? Dad's pissed. Good. A week in, the first crack appeared. Dad showed up at my door unannounced, rain-slicked and furious,
Pounding like Judgment Day.
What the fuck did you do? Victor's on my ass about leaks. His face was a roadmap of burst capillaries, fist raised as if to strike. I opened the door wide, calm as a loaded chamber. Leaks? Must be all those skeletons rattling in your closet.
Dad.
Like the one about mom number 1, my mom, accidentally ODing on the same pills you peddled to your mistress? He froze. Color draining. You don't know shit. I know enough. The blood tests you buried. The payout to hush the coroner. Call it inherited curiosity. It was the secret I'd pieced together too, late last time, from a yellowed letter in Mom's attic box. His real first wife, dead at 26. My conception the fruit of his infidelity. He'd rewritten history, painting her as unstable, me as the bastard burden. You threatening me? He stepped closer, breath hot with rage. Promising clarity. I shut the door in his face, the deadbolt clicking like a guillotine. That night, sleep came fitful, dreams of black helicopters and blacker lies. The wedding week hit like a heat wave, humidity thick as conspiracy. Emily's bridal shower invites went unanswered, Ethan's bachelor bash texts ignored. I holed up with Marcus at his off-base condo in Bethesda, a minimalist fortress of leather and steel, where we drilled the op like boot camp. Entry point, East Lawn, 2,100 hours, he briefed over takeout Thai, his pointer finger tracing a napkin sketch. You signal with the flare, red for go. I'll drop rope, extract you live on feed if you want the drama. Make it viral, I said. Heart racing. Live stream from your GoPro. Let the world see the fall. He hesitated, thumb brushing my wrist. This isn't just payback. AUD. It's exposure. You sure? Surer than breath. The day of. I drove to the venue, a sprawling McMansion in Great Falls. Rented for 10 grand a night, dressed in thrift store chic, black sheath that hugged like armor. hair-pinned fierce. The ceremony was a blur of vows and violins. Ethan beaming in his tux. Emily radiant in lace. I lurked at the back. A ghost in pearls borrowed from Lena. Reception kicked off at golden hour. Toasts flowing like the Potomac. Dad held court at the head table, regaling guests with tales of his rags to riches climb, conveniently omitting the bribes. I waited until the cake cutting, the crowd cooing over fondant tears, then slipped a note to the DJ, play Bad Moon Rising, interrupt for announcement. The Creedence riff cut through the chatter like a chainsaw. Heads turned as I climbed onto the bandstand, mic in hand, voice steady from rehearsed fury. Ladies and gentlemen, family such as it is, before we stuff our faces with lies and buttercream, a word from the invisible woman. Gasps rippled. Dad's fork clattered. Audrey, get down. Remember that joke at the engagement party?
Dad?
About my lack of prospects?
Well,
turns out prospects find you when you're not busy burying bodies. I paused, letting it sink. Project Raven. $200 million in taxpayer dollars for Black Hawks that fly like drunk elephants. Kickbacks to Victor Kane. Routed through your charity in the Caymans. And the best part? The whistleblower you silenced, Colonel Hale, he's not silenced anymore. Murmurs erupted into chaos. Phones whipped out. Recording. Ethan surged forward. What the hell? But security detail, hired for the brass, held him back. Emily clutched her bouquet like a shield. Then, the sky darkened, not with clouds, but rotors. A low throne built to thunder. The Black Hawk cresting the treeline. Black against the sunset. Call sign stenciled bold. It hovered. Downdraft scattering napkins and illusions. The open bay door framing Marcus in full battle rattle. Headset mic live. Audrey Reese. His voice boomed over the PA.
amplified for the ages.
From one survivor to another. Will you marry me? Not for redemption, but revolution. The ring box dangled from a carabiner, glinting like truth. The crowd froze, aunts shrieking, uncles gaping, mom fainting into a chair. Dad lunged, face purple, but two MPs rappelling down pinned him gentle but firm. Federal matter, sir. I grabbed the rope, hauling up as cheers and curses blended. Midair, Marcus pulled me into the bay, the door grinding shut on the wreckage below. His kiss was salt and victory. Twist of fate, he murmured. But twists cut both ways. As we banked toward Andrews, my phone lit up. Lena, DOJ raid in progress. Your dad's singing like a canary. Mentioned you in the paternity fraud. Paternity fraud? The secret. DNA tests I'd faked last life proved Ethan wasn't Dad's biological son. Switched at birth in the chaos of Mom's vacation, a cover for Dad's indiscretions. The real heir?
Me.
By blood, if not by bond. We landed under floodlights. Rotors winding down as agents swarmed the comms van. Marcus squeezed my hand. Your call? General Reese to be. I smiled, the weight lifting. Let it burn clean. No by kitsch this time, just justice. Hard one and helicopter hot. The Black Hawk's skids kissed tarmac with a shudder that echoed in my bones. The whine of turbines fading into the night, chorus of crickets, and distant traffic on the beltway. Marcus unbuckled, his gloved hand lingering on my knee, a grounding touch amid the adrenaline crash. You good? His voice was gravel-soft, eyes searching mine in the red glow of instrument panels. Better than good. Reborn. I leaned into him, The scent of leather and aviation fuel a balm against the phantom stink of motel despair. Below, floodlights pierce the dark, illuminating a perimeter of MPs in crisp fatigues, their M4s slung low but ready. No press yet. Marcus's op-SEC was ironclad, but whispers would spread like Virginia creeper, choking the old vines. We deplaned into a huddle of brass, a one-star admiral with a clipboard, a JAG lawyer nursing a tablet, and Lena, improbably, flashing credentials at the gate. "Told you I'd crash the party," she quipped, hugging me fierce. "DOJ's got your backdoor footage from the caterer's drone." Gold. Priorities first. Marcus nodded to the admiral. Debrief in the SCF. Civi extraction protocol. The secure compartmented information facility was a concrete bunker beneath the hangars. All beige walls and encrypted air. I paced its confines while they synced timelines, my leaks cross-referenced with Marcus's archived complaints. Dad's empire unraveling thread by thread. Victor Kane was already in cuffs at Dulles. His Cayman vaults cracked open like piñatas. But the real bomb? That paternity twist Lena dangled. "Spill," I demanded once the suits cleared out. Just me, Marcus, and her over-lukewarm vending machine coffee. Lena pulled up a file on her laptop. Redacted black stark against the screen. "Your old man confessed under pressure. Standard plea flip." Said the switch happened in '97. During a hospital mix-up he facilitated. Bribed a nurse to swap you and Ethan at birth. You were his bio kid with the secretary. Ethan was Emily's mom's from some fling. He wanted the legit heir to carry the name. Bury the affair. My stomach twisted. Not with shock, but vindication's bitter aftertaste. I'd suspected in fragments last life, hospital records glimpsed in a storage unit raid, but never connected the dots. So, I'm the golden goose he slaughtered.
Worse.
He framed your bio mom for embezzlement to cut her out, then discovered her death as suicide. Insurance payout funded his first startup. Lena's voice hardened. You're not just whistleblower, you're heir apparent. Trusts, properties, it's all contestable now. Marcus draped an arm over my shoulders. Solid as oak.
We lawyer up.
Hale and Reese. Sounds presidential. I laughed. Sharp and real. The sound bouncing off cinder blocks. But dawn brought the fallout. My phone, new burner, naturally, exploded with notifications, TMZ clips of the proposal chopper. Hashtagged Blackhawk Bachelor. Racking views. Ethan's tearful Insta-live. Family betrayal hits different crying face wedding woes. Emily's passive-aggressive stories. White dresses emoji. Shattered heart. And mom's voicemails. Shrill with denial. Audrey. This hysteria ends now. Come home. Home. The words soured like milk. I blocked them all. Focusing on the win column. Dad's arraignment set for Alexandria Federal Court. Bond denied on flight risk. Marcus's reinstatement whispers, his stalled promotion greenlit by the scandal's light. But revenge's high is fleeting. The plateau is paranoia. 2 days post-op. I woke to a shadow at the condo window, FBI tail. Or worse, Marcus's security detail doubled. But sleep evaded me. Ghosts of the first death clawing back. What if this loop broke? What if they struck first? Talk to me, Marcus urged over breakfast. Flipping pancakes like a domestic general. His condo was a revelation, bay windows overlooking the Potomac. Bookshelves groaning with Sun Tzu and Clancy. A king bed where nightmares dissolved into sweat-slicked safety. It's the what-ifs. I speared a blueberry, watching it burst red. Last time, They isolated me, Ethan gaslighting. Mom playing victim. Dad pulling strings. Even in cuffs. He could. He set down the spatula,
Pulling me onto his lap.
Not this time. I've got assets. Sigin on their lines. Assets in low places. His fingers traced my collarbone. Sparking heat.
And you?
You're the variable they can't compute. Smart. Stubborn. Sexy as hell. We made love slow that morning, reclaiming space from shadows. His body a map of healed wounds, shrapnel scars from Fallujah. Tattooed dog tags over his heart. Afterward, tangled in sheets, he proposed for real, no rotors. Just a velvet box from his nightstand, sapphire flanked by diamonds. Not for show. For us. Tears pricked, unbidden. Unwelcome.
Yes.
But with caveats. Prenup for your pension. And I keep my name. Audrey Hale sounds like a bad spy novel. Reese it is. He grinned, slipping the ring on. It fit perfect. Like fate's apology. The arraignment was circus. Media scrum outside the courthouse. Satellite trucks idling like beasts. I sat front row, Lena beside me, as Dad shuffled an orange jumpsuit, cuffs clinking judgment. His eyes met mine, not defiant, but hollowed. The mogul mask cracked. Ethan and Mom flanked the defense table, her pearls a noose, his suit rumpled from sleepless nights. The prosecutor laid it out clinical, fraud counts stacking to 20 years. Conspiracy with Cain. Obstruction in my mother's death. Dad's lawyer droned motions. But the judge, a no-nonsense black woman with a stare like laser-guided munitions, denied bail. Flight risk and community danger, she intoned. Gavel cracking final. As they let him out, Dad twisted back.
Audrey.
Why? Karma's echo. My old line to him. I stood, voice carrying. Because blood doesn't buy loyalty. Dad. You taught me that. Ethan cornered me in the hall. Emily hovering like a wraith. This destroys us.
AUD.
The firm. The house, everything. Everything? Try starting from a motel floor. Venom slipped, unbidden. He recoiled. The brother I'd once idolized, now a stranger in pinstripes. You're not even his, he hissed.
Low.
He told me. Switched. You're the mistake. Emily gasped, hand to mouth. Twist upon twist, Dad's confession spreading like acid. Then claim your throne, brother. Or whatever's left. I walked out into flashbulbs. Marcus's SUV idling curbside, his hand extended. But the drive back was silent storm, revelations churning. If Ethan wasn't Dad's, whose legacy did that make me? Sole heir to a tainted throne, or just the avenger in the ashes? That night, over bourbon on the balcony, his neat, mine on rocks, Marcus laid cards. Options: contest the estate, expose the switch publicly, or walk. DOJ can seize tainted assets, clean slate for you. Clean's overrated. I swirled the glass. Ice clinking. But public?
Latching skid.
Front page. Engagement era fraud? Poetic. He nodded. Pride flickering. Ruthless. I like it. We toasted to ruins. But sleep brought dreams. Dad's gavel my own. Ethan's face morphing to mine. A mirror of betrayal.
Dawn.
I called Lena. File it all. No redactions. The piece dropped Monday. Washington Post splash. Defense XX empire built on switch sons and silenced wives. Interviews with the nurse, aged, arthritic, guilt-ridden, corroborated. Stock dipped. Associates scattered. Ethan resigned in disgrace. Emily's ring returned via FedEx. But controversy breeds vipers. Trolls swarmed my feeds. Gold digger rides chopper to fame. Traitors spawn. Marcus's command pulled strings, cyber units scrubbing deepfakes, but the strain showed, his briefings longer. My freelance gigs drying up as clients fled the spotlight. A week in, the call came, Mom, from a lawyer's office. We need to talk. Inheritance mediation. Your father's. Willing to bargain. Bargain. The word slithered. Marcus advised caution, wiretap it, but curiosity was a siren. I agreed.
Venue neutral. A Vienna Coffee House.
Mid-afternoon hush. She arrived alone, diminished in a cardigan I'd bought her for Christmas once. Gray roots showing. Audrey. No hug. Just a chair scrape. Spare the tears. Karen. Step-family formality. My shield. What's the play? Your father, he wants the switch quiet. In exchange, you get the lake house. College fund retro. For old times, Summer's banished to camp while she played step forward. And Ethan? Adopted legally. Clean. Her eyes pleaded. Family sticks.
AUD. This.
It's killing us.
Killing.
The irony burned. Family? You mean the unit that mocked me into a grave? I leaned in, voice steel. Tell Dad, no deal. I take it all, or the world knows every lie. She left white-faced. But that night, the real strike landed. Anonymous email, grainy photo of me and Marcus in the condo. Time-stamped last week. Attached, back off. Or he loses stars. Threat. My hands shook as I forwarded to Jag. Marcus's face thunderous. Kane's network. We'll trace it, but fear rooted deep. Was this rebirth a curse? Trading one death for another shadow? The photo hit like a flashbang, bleaching the condo's warmth to tactical gray. Marcus paced the living room, phone glued to ear, barking coordinates to cybercom. IP trace. Cayman bounce, likely. Poll NSA logs. His 4 stars felt heavier now. A bullseye on his back and mine by proxy. I curled on the couch, laptop balanced on knees, cross-referencing the email headers with Lena's dark web contacts. Eastern European relay. But the attachment metadata screams local, DC ISP. Masked. Paranoia sharpened my edge. This wasn't Dad's ham-fisted bluff. Kane's syndicate. The real Hydra. Tentacles in every contractor from Raytheon to Lockheed. Got a ping, Marcus announced. Screen glowing with a heat map. Arlington server farm. Feds rolling now. He sank beside me, arm a steel band around my waist. They're scared. Means we're close. Close to what? The abyss. Or absolution. That night, we bunked at the base, guest quarters sterile as a psych ward. But guarded. Sleep was fitful. His body a sentinel. My mind a war room. Dreams replayed the motel. Not death, but the lead up. Dad's voice morphing to Kane's gravelly drawl from a deposition clip. Loose ends get clipped. Sweetheart. Morning brought warrants. Kane's penthouse raided. Hard drives seized. Lena texted victory emojis. But caution laced her words. Deeper players. Brass hat in Pentagon? Brass hat. Marcus's world. Now mine. We breakfasted in the O Club. Eggs Benedict incongruous amid strategy. Options, he said. Fork poised. I testify. Full disclosure. Clears my name. Torches theirs. But it paints a target on us permanent. Us. I arched a brow.
Pulse quickening.
Thought generals didn't do domestic. He smirked, but eyes serious. Reese, your domestic disruption. The good kind. His hand covered mine. Calluses rough from joysticks. Marry me proper, Vegas quickie. Or Annapolis formal. Your call. Vegas tempted, Sin City's irony, but Annapolis whispered legacy. Naval Academy chapel where his parents wed. Formal. Make M sweat the invites. Planning became armor. Rings resized. Vows drafted with escape clauses. But the syndicate didn't sleep. 2 days later, Ethan showed, unannounced at base gate. ID faked as family consult. MPs cleared him through. I met in the visitor center. Coffee urns gurgling like lies. He looked hollowed, stubble shadowing a jaw, once chiseled for boardrooms. AUD. Truce. Truce implies war's over. I sipped black. Scalding. What's Kane promising? Immunity for testimony. His flinch confirmed. He reached out, said you started this. Dragging us all.
But. The switch.
If it's out, I'm done. No trust. No network. Pity flickered. Unbidden, brother by nurture. If not nature. You chose sides at the engagement.
Ethan.
Laughed with the rest. I was blind, voice cracked, drawing glances. Dad said you were unstable. Like her, your mom. Pills. Paranoia. Gaslight's ghost. She was poisoned by his ambition. And me, framed to fit the narrative. I leaned in. Testify true. Pull the thread on Kane. Or rot with him. He left undecided, but seed sprout. That afternoon, his anonymous tip to Lena, Kane's burner logs, linking Dad to a hit on the original whistleblower. Momentum built, but controversy crested. A post-op-ed, penned by a think tank rival, branded me, vindictive vixen, how one woman's grudge guts defense. Comment section a cesspool, feminazi revenge porn. Chopper slut scores jackpot. Marcus raged, drafting rebuttals. But I saw opportunity. Lean in, I told him. Presser. Own the narrative. The press conference was Pentagon Marble Hall. Flags flanking podium like sentinels. Marcus in dress blues. Stars blazing me beside. Red power suit channeling armor. Flashes popped as he spoke. This isn't personal, it's principle. Corruption erodes the trust we earn in foxholes. MS. Reese exposed what I couldn't. Together, we're rebuilding. Questions flew. General. Is this a romance or a ruse? His arm around me. Both. And neither. It's partnership. MS. Reese. Motives? My turn. Survival. My family's facade hid felonies, fraud, falsified fates. I won't apologize for truth. Headlines shifted. Power couple patriot. But vipers strike low. That night, en route to Annapolis fitting, our driver, base pool car, swerved on the GW Parkway. Brakes failed. Tires screeching as we hydroplaned toward guardrail. Marcus yanked wheel, fishtailing us safe into gravel shoulder. Tamper, he growled.
Calling it in.
Sabotage. Heart hammering. I pieced it. Insider job. Mechanic bought off. They're escalating. His jaw set. Then we end it. Call to Jag. Full spectrum. No holds. The wedding loomed, 2 weeks out. Guest list slashed to loyalists. Lena as witness. Marcus's sister flying in from Lejeune. Rehearsal dinner at a Beltway steakhouse. Low-key till it wasn't. Ethan arrived late. Suit crisp. Eyes resolute. I'm in, he murmured over fillets. Testifying tomorrow. Kane's panicking, tried to buy me out. Relief warred with wariness. Why now? Because you're right. Blood or not. Family's what you fight for. He clinked my glass. Tentative bridge. But bridges burn. Midway through dessert. Alarms blared. Fire suppression. Smoke billowing from kitchen. Chaos. Screams. Sprinklers drenching tuxes. Marcus shielded me. MPs evacuating. But in the scrum. A glint knife?
No.
Syringe. Jabbed at Ethan's neck by a busboy fleeing scene. He crumpled. Foam at lips. Cyanide. Marcus barked. Starting compressions as paramedics swarmed. Ethan coded en route. Flatlined at GWU. Dead at 31. My brother's blood on my rebirth. Guilt crushed. A tidal wave. My fault, I whispered in the ER wait. Marcus's coat around me. Pulled him in.
No.
Firm. Kane's. We'll bury him with honors, and them with evidence. Funeral was Arlington. Rifles cracking salute over a boy who'd never been mine. Mom wailed genuine. Dad viewing via video link from MCC. Emily absent. Run off to her real roots. Rumor mill churned. I stood dry-eyed. Resolve hardening to diamond. Trial accelerated. Kane's empire imploded. Co-conspirators flipping like dominoes. Dad took a deal, 30 years. No parole, his testimony sealing the ring. Marcus's op cleared. Promotion to theater command. But victory tasted ash. Post-burial. We drove to Annapolis silent. Chesapeake glittering mockingly. Still want the chapel? He asked. Hand on gear shift. More than ever. Vows would anchor. Not just unite. The ceremony was intimate. Organ swelling. Marcus in sword/blues. Me in ivory silk that whispered second chances. Marcus. Take the. Audrey. Rings exchanged. Kiss sealing amid applause sparse but sincere. Honeymoon? Classified. Bahrain layover. But first. A stop. Ethan's grave. Fresh earth mounded. I laid wildflowers. Whispering. Sorry. Brother. Rest easy. Back home our home. A McLean colonial bought clean. Life normalized uneasy. Marcus deployed short stints. Me freelancing exposés with Lena. But the twist lingered. A letter. Postmarked prison. Dad scrawl. You won.
Kid.
But the real secret? You're not mine either. Ask the nurse about the double switch. Lies. Or labyrinth. I burned it. Choosing peace. Rebirth's gift. Not just revenge. But reclamation. The letter's ashes scattered on the wind like confetti from a funeral I'd never planned. But doubt's ember smoldered. Dad's parting shot, a venom dart from behind bars, nagged like tinnitus after a blast. Double switch? Nurse's name rang vague. Maria Delgado. Retired to Florida Panhandle. Her testimony the linchpin in the civil suit that netted me the lake house and a trust fat enough to fund Lena's nonprofit. I let it lie. Burying the paranoia under wedding afterglow and Marcus's homecoming barbecues, steaks charred just right. His laugh booming over crab boils. Domesticity suited us. A fortress against the frayed edges of fame. Talk shows booked. Audrey Reese, from family outcast to justice warrior. I demurred. But Lena pushed. Your voice, amplify it. For the Ethans out there. For Ethan. The guilt hadn't faded. It calcified. A spur driving me forward. I wrote. Op-eds on corporate incest. Podcasts dissecting Gaslight's grammar. Marcus supported. His deployment's shorter now. Theater command, a desk job with perks. Private jet to Davos. Where I networked with reformers over fondue. But embers flare. 6 months post-vows. A manila envelope arrived, no return. Postmarked Pensacola. Inside, faded Polaroids. Timestamp 97. Hospital nursery. 2 bassinets side by side. One labeled Reese. Ethan male. The other Delgado. Miscarriage. Scribbled note. She switched for love. He switched for power. Truth's the third baby. Maria. I booked a flight. Marcus grounding me with a look. Take backup. I just got your play. Gulf Coast heat slapped like accusation. Humidity curling my hair into frizz. Maria's bungalow sagged on stilts. Porch swing creaking under azaleas. She answered frail. Oxygen tube snaking from concentrator. Eyes sharp behind bifocals. Knew you'd come. Coffee. We sat amid seashell wind chimes. Her story unfolding slow as tide. Your daddy, Robert, paid me 20 grand to swap you too. Ethan was his. Legit with the missus, you. The bastard from the secretary.
But I
flipped it further. Switched Ethan with my own stillborn. From the bed next door. My Maria lived because of it. Shock rooted me.
You
Stole my brother's life. Gave him one. Tears tracked wrinkles. My husband died in the Gulf. I couldn't bury another. Robert never knew. Thought the nurse he bribed next confirmed. When the scandal broke, I confessed to the feds. Immunity for details. Details. DNA proof tucked in her Bible. Chains of custody forged in desperation. I was Dad's bio daughter. Yes, but Ethan? A ghost child. My half-brother in name only. Raised on stolen bloodlines. Why tell now? Voice cracked. Guilt's a tide. Pulls you under.
and you.
You fight like I wished I could. She pressed the file into my hands. End it clean. Flight back. Envelope burning my lap. Marcus waited at Dulles, 6 hours early. Worry etching his brow. Truth bomb. Neutron type. Kills the lies. Leaves the bones. I spilled over the tarmac.
His nod steady.
Publish. Or bury. Your call. General. We burned it together that night. Backyard fire pit. Flames devouring the past. No more ghosts, he said, pulling me close. Just us. But endings loop. A year on. Pregnant, unexpected. A plus on the EPT that floored us both. I felt the stirrings anew. Not death's echo, but life's insistent drum. Marcus doted. Ultrasounds his new battle maps. Baby kick salutes. The call came during a natal scan. Lena, breathless. Kane's appealing new evidence. Claims you entrapped him. Fabricated the chopper stunt. Entrapment. Laughable. But courts choose slow. Subpoenas flew. My depots. Marcus's logs. The hearing loomed in Richmond Federal.
A ramazzi de drada.
Prep was grueling. Lawyers drilling me like recruits. Marcus on standby, with clearances. They'll paint you villain, counsel warned. Jilted daughter. Ambulance chaser hubby.
Leching.
Resolve steeled. Truth's my clip. Courtroom smelled of polish and peril. Gallery packed with vultures, reporters, reformed cronies. Kane took the stand, gaunt in suit, spinning yarns. Reese girls seduced the general for leverage. Staged the proposal to discredit. Objection overruled. Cross gutted him. My turn. Stand. Belly a subtle curve under blouse. Voice clear. Mr.
Kane.
You profited from birds that dropped troops in hot zones. My seduction? A partnership against poison. The proposal? Spectacle for survival. Jury leaned in as I laid the switch bare, not Maria's twist, but Dad's original sin. Exhibits, bribes, burials. Kane crumbled. Appeal denied. Sentence doubled. Walking out. Sun warm on my face. Marcus kissed my temple. That's my warrior. Life accelerated. Baby girl. Harper Reese Hale. Born screaming into spring rain. Auburn tuft and green eyes mirroring mine. Marcus paced delivery. Tears streaking his fatigues. Home on leave. She's got your fire. Baptism at the base chapel. Water sparkling. Family sparse. Lena godmother. His sister auntie. No Reese's, mom in assisted living. Denial her dementia. Dad? Letters ceased. Rumors of Shankin Yard. Years blurred. Harper's first steps on parade grounds. My book deal. Chopper vows. Betrayal. Rebirth. And the fight for family, topping charts. Controversy lingered. Op-eds decrying feminist vigilantism. But fans outnumbered foes. Speaking tours packing halls. Marcus climbed. CENTCOM chief. Stars gleaming at state dinners where I charmed ambassadors. Harper on hip. But tensions simmered domestic, his absences lengthening. My byline sharpening on drone ethics. Ethics hidden force. The crack showed at Harper's fifth, piñata swinging. Kids shrieking when his secure line buzzed mid-candle blow. Iran flare-up. Wheels up at 0400. She wailed as he hugged goodbye. My smile steel. Come back. General. Always.
Kishfirs.
He vanished into night. Weeks stretched. News grim. Escalations. Embeds reporting from Tehran alleys. Then. The ping. Encrypted brief. Marcus's voiceover. Ops hot. Hail out.
Out.
Black ops euphemism for gone. Heart seized. I clutched Harper. World tilting. Lena arrived. Wine and watch. Fog of war. Wait. Waited hellish. Vigils outside Pentagon. Media hounds scenting widow. But twist turned. Extraction botch. Not death. Kane's last gasp. Insider tip to hostiles. Marcus airlifted to Lansdale. Shrapnel in thigh. But alive. Reunion at Walter Reed. Him bandaged. Grinning wry. Told you you're 6. Relief flooded. But reckoning followed. Discharge papers signed. He traded stars for consultancy. Our consultancy. Reese Hale risk. Auditing defense for ethics. No more shadows, he vowed. Harper thrived. Oblivious to lineage's labyrinth. Summers at the lake house. Now ours. Fireflies dancing free. I taught her the hook. Life's too short for lies. Kiddo. One dusk. Dockside. She asked. Daddy's helicopter. Did it really propose to Mommy? Marcus chuckled.
Arm around me.
Best extract ever. And it was. Rebirth's arc, not vengeance eternal, but victory claimed, family forged in fire.
No Max. No grabes.
Just us. Against the sky. Harper's question hung in the humid air like a fireworks afterglow. Her small hand sticky, with popsicle. Eyes wide as the Chesapeake lapping the dock. Marcus fielded it smooth, spinning the tail with embellishments, rotors thundering like dragons, ring glinting like pirate gold, until she squealed, demanding reenactments with her toy chopper. I watched them, heart full to bursting. The lake house's wraparound porch a sentinel against the ghosts we'd exorcised. But ghosts whisper. That fall, as leaves turned crimson pyres, another envelope arrived, prison forward. Mom's shaky script. Audrey. He's gone. Heart attack in showers. Said to tell you, forgive the thief.
Thief.
Fitting epitaph for Robert Reese, architect of stolen lives. Funeral was paupers. No frills at the state plotted joining his first wife's. Irony's cold comfort. I went alone. Marcus minding Harper. Rain sheeting gray. Grave fresh. Sod damp under boots. I stood dry-eyed. Forgive? Maybe in the next loop. Wind carried it away. Absolution optional. Back home. Life wove forward. Reese Hale risk boomed. Contracts from Senate committees auditing the next Raven. I keynote at Aspen. Ethics in the age of drones. Harper in pigtails beside. Charming wonks with crayon maps. Marcus consulted shadows. His limp a badge from that Iranian alley. Voice gravel in boardrooms. Trust is tactical. Controversy? Eternal companion. A Netflix doc pitched. Black Hawk Bride. Scandal or sisterhood. I passed. Our story, ours.
Not spectacle.
But leaks persisted. Tabloids drudging the switch. Speculating Harper's true, Grandpa Gulf vet ghost. We lawyered silence. Focused forward. 10 years post-proposal. The anniversary hit seismic. Marcus chartered a Black Hawk civilian mod. No guns, for a joyride over Shenandoah. Harper strapped in teen goth phase. Rolling eyes at cheese. Dad. It's so 2015. Timeless. Kid. He winked, squeezing my hand as valleys unspooled below. Lunch at a Ridgetop Inn. Crab cakes and champagne. Toasts to twists. That night, bed creaking under us. His whisper hot. Remember the SCF? First time I knew. Knew what? Fingers tracing scars. You were the op worth risking.
Quiche deepened.
Slow burn to blaze, love's language. Fluent now. Dawn brought the call. Lena. Promoted to post Metro editor. Reunion? Ethan's old firm, Survivor's Gala. You game?
Gala.
The beast that birthed it all. Why not? Closure tour. Venues same McMansion. Ghosts in topiaries. I arrived arm in arm with Marcus. Harper scouting hors d'oeuvres. Red gown channeling that first crash. Faces familiar. Aunts aged to caricatures. Cousins awkward nods. Emily divorced. Reinvented as yoga guru, approach tentative.
Audrey.
Healed, as much as scars allow. No venom, time's solvent. The Toastmaster invoked Ethan, plaque unveiled. Laughter through tears. I spoke unscripted. He was brother by choice. In a family of thieves. To second chances. Applause thundered. Genuine. But tension taut, a shadow by the bar. Victor Kane's nephew, junior exec. Eyes like daggers. Whispers, Appeal bid. Dredging old mud. Marcus clocked it. Hand to earpiece. Our discreet security.
Easy.
We're covered. Dance floor swirled. Harper twirling with a scion. When the nephew cornered me, breath scotch sour. Think you're queen now? Uncle's rotting cause of you. Rottings for empires built on rot.
Come.
But pulse raced. Walk away. He didn't lunge. Glass shattering. MPs, old habits swarming. Scuffle brief.
Cuffs clicking.
Harassment, Marcus murmured, steering me out. Last gasp. Outside. Rotors thrummed. Our charter. Idling dramatic. Harper hooped as we lifted. Mansion shrinking to toy. Best exit ever. Updraft. Marcus pulled the ring box. Anniversary edition. Sapphire reset. Renew. Always. Kiss midair. World below a map of conquered fears. Epilogue years. Harper Harvard-bound. Majoring poli-sci with a vengeance streak. Reese Hale Global. Me authoring Loops of Justice. Bestseller on rebirth's metaphor. Marcus retired admiral. Memoir ghosted. Us snowbirding Florida. Irony's nod to Maria. One porch swing evening. Harper home for break. She asked the deep cut. Grandpa, was he really that bad?
Worse.
But we broke the cycle. I squeezed her hand. Marcus's arm anchor. She nodded. Wise beyond. Good. 'Cause I'm not letting anyone mock my engagement. Laughter echoed. Fireflies winking approval. Rebirth's promise, not perfection, but power over pasts, over pains. From mocked to married. Grave to grace. The end? Just the hook for what's next.